Good afternoon, my name is Amazing Kakamanga. This is the Midday News with the headlines. Jobless Zambian doctors protest. PF Vice President Given LUBINDA reported to the SEC.
Team, the trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the country.
There's so much data.
Mom?
Yes, baby?
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
And now the news in details. The Just Suit Center for Theological Reflection has charged that despite pressing decent employment creation as a priority at the center of the government's plans in line with the long-term vision 2030, there has been a persistent weakness with regards to implementing and measuring employment creation. The JCTR Faith and Justice Manager Muchimba Siamachoka notes that the Vision 2030 is operationalized through the five-year National Development Plan and national budgets, but has had a persistent challenge of reporting on the employment creation targets. The JCTR has therefore recommended that deliberately efforts must be made to clearly spell out strategies in the 8th National Development Plan on how government is going to achieve employment creation targets.
And the measure of employment creation. As we may be familiar, the Vision 2030 is operationalized through 5-year development plans and national budget. One clear challenge that has persisted is the non-reporting on economic creation targets in all national budgets. This is alongside the macroeconomic objective targets of economic growth and inflation. For instance, you will note that the 7th National Development Plan that was implemented between the years 2017 and 2021 is one that had committed to create 1 million jobs. However, checking through the national budgets of the years between 2017 and 2021, we do note that there was no reporting against the particular target of 1 million jobs. As a result, the Center recommends that deliberate efforts must be put into place to clearly spell out strategies in the 8th National Development Plan on how government is going to achieve employment creation.
The United Party for National Development, UPND Alliance, has formally reported former Kawata Member of Parliament, Given LUBINDA, to the Anti-Corruption SEC for allegedly turning Kawata Skills Development Center into personal property during his tenure of office. Kamwala Ward 5 Councillor Malinda Simate has threatened that youth from the UPND will ensure that the former Kawata lawmaker does not access the Skills Center if the Corruption Commission fails to respond to this within 2 weeks. And Republican Progressive Party Deputy Secretary General Stanley Malama has cautioned political figures against unduly benefiting from public property.
This is Kawata Skills Development Center in Lusaka, one of the public properties whose ownership has been under debate since the change of government in August 2021. Among the services that youth could acquire from the center were tailoring, catering, and carpentry, among others. It is, however, alleged by concerned stakeholders in the constituency that former Kawata lawmaker Mr. Given LUBINDA personalized the property during his stay in office, hence disadvantaging the community. The former Kawata lawmaker, however, has been denying the claims.
I'm saying I don't respond to such flimsy allegations. Just tell them that I don't respond to such flimsy allegations.
After several warnings demanding that the former Kawata Member of Parliament return the property to the community, the United Party for National Development UPND Alliance has formally reported Mr. Lubinda to the Anti-Corruption Commission ACC. Speaking at the ACC headquarters Monday after making the formal report, Kamala Ward 5 Councillor Mr. Mainda Simata says the commission has given them 2 weeks in which they are to expect feedback on the matter.
That is not what that property was for. It is for the community. So we want SEC to expedite this issue before we engage other gears that are going to have to force us to mobilize our people so that we can just now forcibly take over that property, because we are not going to wait for investigations which will take too long, because we need to use that facility now, and we have to take over that facility now on behalf of the community, because it belongs to the community. We are going to give, we agreed on 2 weeks with the dealing officer who's looking at this case. So after 2 weeks, we expect to have a positive, concrete feedback. And the feedback that we want is for that place to be returned back to the community in the soonest possible time.
Meanwhile, Republican Progressive Party RPP Deputy Secretary General Mr. Steny Malama says as alliance partners, they will ensure that all public property illegally acquired during the previous administration is recovered.
Let's say whatever goes up must come down. So it's the time for Mr. Given to go down. And I want to make mention that it's very unfortunate. We have people who call themselves opposition leaders, yet they are just criminals who benefit from people's communities' prepacks. So I want to send a warning to Mr. Given Johnston Lubinda to surrender the prepack to the community. It does not belong to him. Even the lentils that has been collecting, that money should go back to the people who are suffering in Kawata constituency. He has benefited enough. The money that he has gotten from that prepack should go back to the owners. Why is he keeping that money? Why is he chewing that money together with his rotten PF?
A community member from Kawata constituency has urged the ACC to expedite investigations.
So we are very delighted that our councillor and the alliance partners have come on board to bring back that property to the rightful owners who are the community. Our youth, if you go there right now, they are drinking, involved in bad activities because of lack of education. So we are happy that, and you are encouraging the ACC to take keen interest in this case, because the community is not going to wait until further notice. We are running out of patience, so we are urging the ACC to expedite the investigations and then bring back the property to the owners who are the community.
The civic leaders say it is their goal that the skills center be given back to the people of Kawata constituency to allow them benefit from the Constituency Development Fund CDF, which has seen an increase from 1.6 million kwacha to 25.7 million kwacha. Zipora Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Unemployed doctors Monday 21st February staged a peaceful protest demanding that President Hakainde Hichilema provides a specific time frame for the recruitment of 11,200 health care workers as planned in 2022 national budget. However, their attempt to seek audience with the president at the State House was frustrated by the police, who had a tough time calming the situation. It took the police officers about 20 minutes to convince the alert doctors from going ahead with the protest into the State House. The protest, which was deemed illegal as the doctors did not have police permit.
High unemployment remains a burden in Zambia, given the prevailing situation where most of the people are accustomed to seeking employment as opposed to creating jobs. Certainly, this is an inheritance the United Party for National Development has to overcome. Health practitioners are part of the mass jobless movement, hoping for the best in the new administration. And prior to the August 12 general election, they staged a series of protests under the PF administration, which landed some of the doctors behind bars. Unemployed doctors, Monday 21st February 2022, staged a peaceful protest demanding that President Hakainde Hichilema provides a specific time frame for the recruitment of 11,200 health workers as indicated in the national budget. However, their attempt to seek audience with the head of state were frustrated by the police. Although the men and women in uniform had a tough time to calm the situation, and send the furious doctors who were just a few meters away from State House.
These grievances to me, but I'm just saying, can we find the right environment where we should go? No, excuse me, where we should go in your campus? Then we don't have the campus. Where you came, yes,
where you belong to the streets now. What is the home to whichever destination? But now what you are doing is against the Public Order Act. So my appeal to you is maybe get back to the campus. You have already aired out your grievances.
The police told the doctors that the protest was illegal because they had no police permit. The police later escorted back the doctors to Lijwe, where they were addressed by Ministry of Health officials. Speaking on behalf of the doctors, Dr. Wallace Ndumba says the Ministry of Health is failing to give a clear roadmap and specific time frame on when the recruitment process of health personnel will commence.
Doctors are going to get employed. I know that is our concern. Personally, I lost count of the statements. So the same ministry, the permanent secretary will issue a statement. The following day, the minister will issue a different statement. So all the statements are incoherent, very confusing.
The doctors want to know the time frame on the recruitment process.
When people want power, they come and campaign different fake campaign promises.
Yes.
Now it's time to deliver. They say they've been in government for less than 6 months, and yet we've got trips, we've got people with non-essential workers being employed. Health is a basic care need. It's one of the SDGs, one of the 10 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, is health care. It is a necessity that we need. So why employ entities, that is unnecessary individuals, and leave people who are actually needed? We've had incidences of which we have doctors, we have a person who delivered in the streets in Solwezi. We have one who delivered in a helicopter in Western Province. So that means that's a lack of staffing.
And the Minister of Health Permanent Secretary Technical Services, Professor Lakson Kasonka, emphasizes that the doctors will be employed, saying the process of recruitment has already started.
So transparent that it will be so clear who gets employed. You will get your CVs to me, you are wasting your time because I have no influence. It will be done in a methodical, systematic way that it is so open and transparent. And this is what we are spending time working on. We sit in this meeting all the time, planning, replanning, doing it in consultation with the Public Service Management Division so that it is done properly. And I said this before, the recruitment planning has started. The members of the press said, oh, Kasonka says that recruitment has started and is employing his relatives. My son is one of them. My son is a graduate. He's also sitting at home. So as a parent, when I leave in the morning, I feel pain to see my son sitting. So I share your grievances and your concerns. But know that recruitment for health workers will not...
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Residents of Muyombe compound in Mafinga districts are at the verge of being cut off from the rest of the district due to the collapsing of Bemba Bridge on Muyombe Isoka Road. Muyombe compound, which houses the only boarding school in the district, a hospital, among other public offices, has people risking their lives crossing over to access services in the area. Meanwhile, Mafinga Council Chairperson Duncan Kaonga has told Camnet TV News that the local authority has responded to the challenge by instituting a 5-day temporal work plan of putting stones to narrow the bridge for people and vehicles to cross.
They fear for their lives as they are on the verge of being cut off from the rest of the district due to the collapse of Bemba Bridge on Muyombe Isoka Road. These are the residents of Muyombe area in Mafinga district. Since the incoming of the rain season, the people of Mafinga district have been badly affected. Roofs blown off, bridges collapsed, road dilapidated, thus threatening their livelihood.
market yonse abakumiyombe fyose bitrefu amake mesi yonse abakumiyombe nomba pa mkwai bali bipisha sana lero twatotera kona batu bitapo na mabwe kona twamkiromo.
What worries them is the fact that Moyombe compound houses the only boarding school in the district, hospital, among other public offices, hence making this bridge critical for them to access public offices. And this has seen people risk their lives crossing to access services in the area. In response to the problem, Mafinga Council Chairperson Duncan Kaonga has told Camnet News that the local authority has instituted a 5-day temporary work plan of putting stones to narrow the bridge for the people and vehicles to cross.
The government, or the Honorable, has always been knocking on the doors. What the biggest problem that we have are the crossing points. This stretch of Wemba Bridge is approximately about 700 meters in length. They have done the bill of quantities just to quantify how much is needed to do the works. We as local authority together with the DC's office have just been trying to do some remedial work, because just where we are here, it's very deep going down. So yesterday we worked together to bring some stones so that we could just put where it was very deep so that people could pass.
Meanwhile, Area Member of Parliament Robert Chabinga says government has assured a bridge to be constructed under Images Fund, awaiting the end of the rains for a permanent structure to be put up.
We've been told just some few minutes ago by Minister of Infrastructure that they are funding this bridge by this coming funding month end. They are sorting out without fail. The team should be on site as RDA, which I've confirmed by the permanent secretary from Lusaka. So basically, this is where we are, and as well as in the mountains, also it's a remedial. But the people here, all they want is the permanent solution, because we cannot go on every in and out. We have the same problem. Not at all. All people want is all of us. We need. I'm telling you, we'll be receiving the so-called CDF, but how do you go and check the problem? Because that practically no roads. How do you move? There's totally nothing.
Till then, the people of Mafinga district shall be made to endure the current challenges they are facing. Alex Shimba, Camnet News, Mafinga district in Muchinga province.
This brings us to the end of our midday news, but before we go, we take a look at the headlines once again. Jobless Zambian doctors protest. PF Vice President Given Lubinda reported to the SEC. Thank you for joining us on the midday news. My name is Amazing Katamanda. Good afternoon.